I recently came across an article on Scrubs magazine titled 10 Things They Don't Teach You in Nursing School. Now, some of these things I think are wrong, and some of them are definitely correct. So let's go through this list together on 10 things they do not teach you in nursing school. We're gonna get right into it today, everyone. So number 1 is you must be able to mouth breathe. They're saying they don't teach you how to mouth breathe in nursing school. This one's actually pretty funny. You may learn this in nursing school if you learn it on clinical, or you may not. And in healthcare, the smells that we smell can be bad sometimes. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad. But I will say you don't always want to mouth breathe, because sometimes what you're smelling you feel like you can actually taste if you mouth breathe. This one could be 50-50. Some of you may learn how to mouth breathe in nursing school, some of you may not. I definitely did. I learned the Vicks trick, putting Vicks on your lip and smelling that. I've learned essential oils tricks, putting essential oils on your mask and putting that there and smelling that, or putting it on your shoulder, rubbing something on your scrubs. And you just, you know, as you're cleaning up a patient, sniff over, get that whiff, and you're good to go. But let's move on. Number 2, it says you will never be able to call off from work ever again. And this is what it says underneath it. Not because you physically can't or won't, but you will never call off work again without some sort of regret or guilt, whether imposed by yourself or your colleagues. I don't agree with number 2 at all. If I'm sick and I need to call out, I am not feeling bad, because I know I should not be around my coworkers and I should not be around my patients. But again, I do not call out. I've called out maybe 3-4 times in the last 7 years. So this isn't a common thing for me. So if I'm calling out, I know there's a true reason why I am calling out. All right, moving on. Number 3, it says, if you don't have a type A personality, you will develop one. Now I'm 50-50 with this one. Type A personality traits are achievement-oriented, competitive, fast-paced, and impatient. Nursing can be all of these, or it can be none of these. There are times to be competitive, yes, like when you are applying for a job, you want to be competitive in that market. But it's usually not a place to be impatient. If you start to become impatient in nursing, it's time to kind of check yourself. Say, why am I being impatient right now? Is it because I have these tasks I need to get done? Okay, but are these tasks more important than that patient? Remember, when people are sick, they need more time to do things, and they're not feeling well. They may even need more time to make a decision, and we can't be pushing our impatience on our patient. All right, moving on. Number 4, it says, you will never look at health or healthcare the same way ever again. 100% agree with this one. The longer I have been in the healthcare field, the more I have seen the politics of the healthcare field and how insurance companies kind of tell us what we can and can't do unless we want to pay out of pocket for certain things. So my eye on the healthcare system has drastically changed from 7 years ago when I became a new nurse. Halfway there, number 5, it says Hollywood medicine entertainment has been ruined for you forever. I don't really watch TV, so hasn't been ruined for me, but I will say it definitely gives the public a false perception of what it's like to be a patient in a hospital. Moving on to number 6, it says you will forget what life was like before nursing. Now, I'm not quite sure what they mean by this one. I don't forget what life was like before nursing. So this one I would need them to kind of expand on. Number 7. Number 7 irritates me. It aggravates me, it irritates me. I strongly dislike when people make broad statements like this for everybody in nursing. It says, your emotional bank will be forever empty. I don't believe this to be true at all. Yes, nursing can be emotional at times. It can be stressful at times. But that doesn't mean that is every single day. Personally, in the last 7 years of nursing, I have had more good days than bad days. Maybe bad days account for 20 to 30% of the time, but the rest of the 70, 60% of the time, 80% of the time is good days. But really, I think your attitude and your outlook on your job and on life has a lot more to do with it than the good days versus the bad days. What one person might consider a bad day, somebody else might consider a good day. So broad statements like this simply are just not true. Number 8 also irritates me. I do not like number 8. It says, getting out of work on time is just a myth. Totally false. They say, just because the schedule says I leave at 7 p.m. does not mean I physically will leave the premises at that time. More like an hour or 2 later. And that's on a good day. Our non-medical friends and family have a hard time understanding this one. I'm not non-medical and I have a hard time understanding this one. I can't be the only nurse out there who normally gets out of work on time. And I know I'm not, because I see my coworkers also leaving on time. Make sure your work is done. Make sure you know what you're going to say and report. Give a quick and simple report. Don't go into the unnecessary report information. And get out of there. Swipe out and get out. Just like I want the prior shift to do as well. In my 6.5, 7 years of nursing, being in the healthcare field, I cannot remember a time, maybe a few, it's less than 5 times that I have gotten out of work late, more than like 45 minutes late. This is not a common thing. If getting out of work late is normal for you, you need to kind of reevaluate what is going on. Something's wrong and you gotta figure it out. So if you are a new grad watching this, getting out of work late is not normal. And don't ever think that it is normal. All right, last 2. Number 9 is cat-like reflexes and hand-eye coordination you are not taught in nursing school. I would agree with this. They say, this is funny, everything from catching a falling patient to dodging sputum that has taken flight, sidestepping, projectile vomiting, or having that steady hand when placing an IV, you need to have great body awareness. Totally agree with this one. Let's go to number 10. And lastly, they say, the last thing you do not learn in nursing school is a poker face. Now, I would agree with this one because you just don't have that much experience in nursing school if you don't have a lot of time on clinical. I had a great clinical. I learned some of this, but it definitely came more with becoming a nurse. The last sentence under this section I would 100% agree with. It says, professionalism means looking the part just as much as acting the part. And I think that is a great way to sum up this entire article. Would you all agree with these statements or no? Why or why not? Comment down below. But that is it for today's video, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. That is the 10 things that they do not teach you in nursing school, according to this author on Scrubs magazine. Make sure you are subscribed and give this video a big thumbs up. Other than that, I'll see you in the next video. See you, everyone.